Hey all, Michelle Raza here with the Finding Yourself Book Club, coming to you from San Antonio, Texas. I have had a lot of people asking where I'm at, simply because they've seen the billboard here in San Antonio. I am in town and am available for in-person consults if you prefer that. I also do virtual consultations via Zoom or Google Meet. So anywhere in the world that you are, if you want to have a conversation, totally up for it. Just check out my website. I'm at www.findingyourselfsatx.com. There you can fill out my contact form and I'll get in touch with you. The first consult is always free and there's no obligation thereafter. Thank you. So today we're going to continue talking about Dr. Gibson's Recovering from Emotionally Immature Parents. We've been talking through updating your self-concept. So today we're going to continue with section 3, filling in the blanks in your self-concept. If you find value in these videos, I do ask that you please like and subscribe. It really does help us little YouTubers. And without further ado, I'll get started. It is a shorter section today, and there is no corresponding exercise. But in section 4, we'll move on to do an exercise, a corresponding exercise with this. If you have your book, I highly recommend it that you pick up your own copy. But if you don't have it, you can just follow along on these videos. Dr. Gibson has written to us and is a fan of our work, but is not, she doesn't pay me for any of this, so I'm not compensated from her. Wish I was, because I am a big fan of hers, and most of my videos are actually on Dr. Gibson's work. I also have a full suite of independent, customizable coaching documents that I do use in sessions, but of course that's separate from the Finding Yourself Book Club. So, okay. Fill in the blanks in your self-concept. Sadly, when a parent doesn't recognize their child's positive qualities, the child doesn't build up a self-concept in those areas. It's as if a big blank exists where a part of the self should be. For instance, my client, Francine, could accept praise about her work. But as soon as the compliments were about her and her positive personal qualities, she recoiled. She didn't see herself that way, so she immediately made a self-depreciating remark or laughed and made a joke about it. Francine explained that praise pointed to an inner void she felt in herself. I don't think of myself as valuable or important. I don't think I matter to people, and I don't think I'll ever be convinced. She recognized that her boyfriend treated her as if she mattered to him, but she couldn't quite believe it. She feared that any minute he would discover she wasn't so great, and then he would see her as too much trouble. This feeling came from Francine's cold father, who made it clear he didn't have time for her as a little girl. When I asked Francine if she could see herself as a lovable person, she reflected for a moment and then said, "Nope, it's like I've got a hole there, a complete vacuum." Another client, Caitlin, was shocked when a member of her church group told her that she gave the best hugs and was such a good listener. This baffled Caitlin because, as she told me, I'm not really a giving kind of person. Caitlin had learned this distorted self-concept from her depressed and angry mother, who was too bitter about life to appreciate Caitlin's qualities. Caitlin was a giving person, but her mother never saw it. Although lacking in parental recognition of their best qualities, both Francine and Caitlin eventually owned their real but previously unrecognized good qualities. Francine accepted that she was lovable just for being herself, and Caitlin realized she was often warm and giving. Both women felt awed and grateful as they accepted being lovable and giving as real aspects of themselves. Just because their parents never acknowledged those qualities didn't mean they weren't there. If you got little parental feedback, you too probably have more good qualities than you realize. But like Francine and Caitlin, if you don't claim these traits in yourself, You might deny your potential with limiting thoughts like, that's not me. I'm not like that. I'm not the kind of person who. After a success, you might even say, I don't know how I did that. But just because you don't recognize something about yourself doesn't mean it's not there. Perhaps it never sank in because nobody ever named it. With EI parents, you should question any limiting thoughts about yourself, qualities you think you lack, or things you would never try. Is that limitation really true of you, or did it come from the EIPs in your life? So I've mentioned in previous videos, and I think it's worth mentioning here, one of the best things that you can do when you've been surrounded with EIPs in your life is to build yourself a loving and supportive network. Find yourself a group of people, 5 or 6 people, where you can reciprocate support to each other. And so in a situation like this, where you think, I'm really not good enough, or you're facing the imposter syndrome, you can have some friends that are really genuine and honest, and they can give you feedback. And they can let you know when you're doing well and when you're not doing so well. But it's not in that overly critical way that just destroys you for the sake of whatever problem that EIP is facing, right? And I think a lot of you, as you're going on this journey, learning about the EIPs in your life, understanding how it's really about them. It's not about you. And so the things that you were faced with as a child or even as an adult, they really have nothing to do with you. It's on these individuals' own limitations in their own life, their lack of introspection. They're consumed by themselves and their problems to the point where they can't be loving parents or loving siblings or, if they're your friends, loving friends, whoever these people are in your life. But just remember, when you're faced with the way that they act towards you, it's not you, it's them. And the best buffer that you can have against this is building a crew of supportive people, a group of people that you can be honest with, that you can reciprocate, that you can have a deep emotional connection with. For some people, that's their romantic partner. But on a first pass, and so before you study any of this stuff, your romantic partner will often also be an EIP because you gravitate towards what is comfortable to you. And so even though the EIPs in your life may make you miserable, it feels like home. And so oftentimes your first relationship or your first partner that you get very deep with, or that you try to get very deep with because you kind of can't, is also an EIP. But finding that close, intimate relationship, whether it be a best friend, a group of friends, your romantic partner, it needs to be reciprocal. So if you're always the one sending those text messages and you never get a response, stop sending the messages. Just stop sending them. Let them respond to you. And if they don't, then you understand that they don't value you the same way that you value them. And you deserve an honest, reciprocal relationship. So those are my 2 cents. Take them or leave them. Thank you for spending time with me today. Thank you if you've picked up this copy and you're working through it. It's a lot of hard work, so I appreciate what you're doing. It's not easy to make an investment in yourself like this. Dr. Gibson's works, Dr. Gottman's works, they're amazing. You can pick them up on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or wherever you get books from. Also, if you'd like more customizable content, visit my website. I'm at www.findingyourselfsatx.com. SATX stands for San Antonio, Texas, so I am in town, y'all. Take care and have a great day. We'll talk more on Thursday. Bye-bye.